Right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, uh, today actually we have to discuss energy balance on open system. But before that, let me quickly go through few points of one problem which we solved at the end of last lecture, and that was something application of is energy balance equation in closed system. Because if you remember, we discussed what are closed system and steady and unsteady state closed system, and at the end of that discussion we have solved this one problem which was related to, if you remember, that there is some gas, and that's available at 25 degrees C in some cylinder. Then you heat it up by placing it in a boiling water, that will be at 100 degrees C. So when you will place this cylinder which contain a gas, and it is at 25 degrees C, heat transfer will start to this gas cylinder, and its temperature will start rising, and that's finally reach to the 100 degrees C. And he told us during this, when we are increasing the temperature and piston remains in a fixed position, 2 kilocalorie heat was transferred to this cylinder. And then in the second stage he told that now what you do, you just release the piston, you remove the some weight which was placed on the piston. When you will remove that, then piston will be pushed due to energy of gas. So here actually the first part was pretty straightforward, and I think you were clear. But one student asked at the end of the lecture something related to second stage, that why we are considering few of the terminologies and we are ignoring the other one. So let me quickly go through this, because later on I was thinking that that point may be confusing for many of you. So one student asked, I have clarified to her, but others maybe they don't have idea. So this was the first stage. Quickly, this is pretty straightforward, but let me tell you before I jump to the second stage. So here gas is at 25 degrees C. We add heat of 2 kilocalories and temperature is raised to the 100 degrees C by keeping the piston at same position. When piston remains at same position, that indicates that there is no work, because I told you that whenever there will be movement of this piston due to the push of gas, then it's mean this gas which is your system will be working on the surrounding. Piston is surrounding, gas is system. So in that case, work is zero. I wrote here the general equation, complete equation, which we have discussed before this, and that is delta U plus del Ke plus del Pe is equal to Q plus W. And I told you here kinetic energy change will be zero because there is no movement of material. Can anyone tell me what are those conditions in which this change in kinetic and potential energy is zero,
Closed
if you
system.
remember? Because this is closed system, and yes, in this system there is no movement of any, gas, anything like any gas is not entering, not leaving from the system. So in this case, there is no change in kinetic energy. There is also no change in potential energy, because this piston remains at the same position. Its height is not changed like that. So due to this, it is zero. As well, I told you that there is, work is zero because piston remains at the same position. Now what is changing, that is amount of heat is getting in q is entering, because he told us heat of 2 kilocalories is entering to the system. As well, there will be something change in internal energy. Although I told you that this kinetic potential and internal energy, they are related to amount of materials, although any material is not getting in, so kinetic and potential energy did not change. But what is changing is internal energy, because internal energy is a function of temperature and volume. Although volume remains same here, but there is a change in temperature, because temperature increased from 25 to 100 degrees C. So it's mean this energy is stored, which is heat getting into the system, that is stored in the gas in the form of increase in its temperature. So due to this reason, we considered that del U is equal to Q. And because here in the problem it was asked that you have to write the balance equation and then simplify it and then solve for unknown quantities. So here unknown quantity is delta U, that is equal to Q, and Q was given 2 kilocalories, but in the question it was asked to report the result in the form of joule, so we did it as such. So up to here it was straightforward, I think no question. But related to second stage, there was one thing that in this stage, let's look at this now. he said that what we do, mean it is there, mean in the boiling water this cylinder remains there, because he didn't mention anything that we have removed it out of that system. No, it is there. So what he said, now only change which takes place, you remove this weight which was placed on the piston. When you will remove this weight, gas will start pushing this uh, pushing this piston upward, and it reached to some new equilibrium position, which is also discussed in the question statement, that it expands and reach to new equilibrium position where it will then stick or stay there. So during this, he said in the question that when gas is pushing to this, 100 joule of work is done by this gas on the piston. This was told in the question. So now when we write the equation for this overall, system, this was the equation again. In this case, kinetic energy change is zero, as well potential energy change, although there is a some change in the height of this gas, because as compared to initial, its height has changed. But again, in the statement, he told that this potential energy change is ignorable. You can ignore it. You will take change as a zero. So due to this, these two I took it as zero. The third one, which was actually causing confusion here, that is change in internal energy. That also I took as a change. I took it as a zero. Why? At that time also I said that there is a, this change in internal energy is dependent on temperature, and because temperature here remains same, because if you go back to the statement and based on that statement I have drawn this diagram. In this you can see that temperature remains same for this gas. Yes, its position has changed, and during that some work is being done. So when I wrote there delta U is equal to 0, now what is left is Q plus W. So guys, look at the equation. When you make all these 0, and in the question, all these three, delta U, delta K, delta P, when we make it 0, so from where that work is being done there? Because he said during this expansion, although temperature remains same, but still work is done. So in order to do that work, heat will be needed, and from where that heat will come, heat will enter from the surrounding into the system, because this cylinder is already placed in the boiling water. So in order to push this, that heat comes from the boiling water. So due to this reason, I wrote here Q plus W is equal to 0, and W was work done by the system minus 100. And here I calculated that for doing this work of 100 joule, I need 100 joule getting into the system. And from where that will come, because this cylinder is still there inside the boiling water. So in order to push this gas, keeping the temperature constant, you need still from somewhere you need the energy. And when you are not losing the energy of molecule, which is in the form of internal energy, you are not changing kinetic and potential energy, then that amount of energy is supplied in the form of heat from outside, and outside was water. So it is coming from the water at the same time. So 100 joule of heat will be further added into the system while it is expanding. So I hope it's clear to you, all of you, but still if anyone has any question related to this, please ask here. No question? Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 29, because you asked this question last time, I think it's more clear to you now. And one thing, guys, let me tell you, I told her at that time, I think some other students were also there, maybe. So I told you, actually, if you look at the overall situation, overall two changes are taking place here. One change is like increase in the temperature, and the second work done by the system. So overall, if I don't just separate it into the two stages, but I will write that equation will be something delta U is equal to Q plus W. Overall, both changes, change in temperature, which is delta U, and other thing which is like work, both are taking place due to the heat added. 12, do you want to say something? Otherwise, just mute your mic, please. Right, that's it. This was related to last time stuff. So now let's start with today's stuff that is related to open system. So guys, up to here you have we have talked about energy balance on closed system for both steady state and unsteady state. Steady state when there is no change in amount of the main energy inside the system, and they are very simple system. Those will be such system in which there will be like energy getting in the form of one, for example in the form of heat, will be lost in the form of work or in the form of heat at the same time. Like I have shown you few example at that day that there is overall change in energy delta E was equal to 0, but most of the system which you will be dealing will be like closed system, but they are unsteady state. For example, the question which we just discussed, this is the case of unsteady state, because all amount of heat getting in, some is lost in the form of work, but some is still stored inside the system to raise its temperature. So the systems which we are going to talk today, that's in the continuation of that, they are open systems. So I think in this week, in these 3 lectures, we will be discussing this in detail, open system for steady state and unsteady state. So you know, steady state is the simplest case. So we will start with that today, and then we'll jump to the unsteady state in next lecture. So first of all, what is open system? What does open system mean? Anyone?
system in which
सर जिसमें mass transfer हो रहा हो.
Yes, the system in which mass transfer takes place across the boundaries of system. Mean there is a boundary from surrounding, mass can get in, can get out, or only can get in. Mean that can be any situation. While in closed system, you guys know that mass didn't get transferred, but heat and work can flow through the boundaries of the system, because heat and work didn't need any material, they are transferred in some other shape. So in open system, mean in this system material can get in as well as can leave from the system. So although we have discussed closed system very well, so what is the need to study energy balance on these open systems? Can anyone answer this?
Rate of
Why?
inlet is equal to rate of outlet.
Yes, that is, but why there is a need for discussing the open systems? I think closed systems were more than enough. Why we are going for these open systems? Because these equation will be complex and a lot more will be included. So what is the need, guys? Look, in the engineering, in chemical engineering here, as from the day one I told you, we will be talking about flow rate in, flow rate out. Things are getting into the reactor, products are leaving from the reactor. Okay, a lot of components enter to the distillation column, they get separated into the various streams. So in the chemical engineering, always you will be discussing open systems. In those open system, because for example here one of the reactor which I am giving you the example, so in the reactor, reactants enter into the reactor. Reactor is our system, and reactant enter into this system from the surrounding, and then products which are found inside reactor, they leave the reactor, they didn't stick there. So most of the system which you discuss here in chemical engineering, they are open flow systems, they are not closed system. There are very few like batch processes, they are very few, they are not used commonly. But open system, I told you that they are linked with the continuous or semi-batch system. So in these are the system which are vigorously used, commonly used in our surrounding. So due to this, it is necessary to just discuss the balance of energy balance on open system. So here whenever anything is getting into the bin system or leaving out of the system, any material that is getting into the system or out of the system, that will be carrying energy, and that energy is carried in the form of, whenever materials are involved, guys, I think you remember that then there will be kinetic energy, potential energy, and internal energy. If you remember, just compare it with the previous type of closed system. In the closed system, energy was transferred into the system or out of the system in only 2 forms. And what were those 2 forms?
Work and heat.
Good. Yes, work and heat are only two forms in which energy can get in or out of the system from closed system. But look, when you have open system in which material can come in, can leave, so here kinetic energy will be involved, potential energy as well internal energy will also be part of those equations. So let's look at this. If you remember, in the closed system only energy was stored in the form of these, mean kinetic potential or internal energy, but that cannot move in or out of the system. But in this case, in open system, you will look at these system that where energy is transferred in the form of Q and W as well as in the form of kinetic potential and internal energy. This is one of the system. Let's look at this. For example, the boundary which he has drawn here is our system boundary. This overall you can see, although it is a solid boundary, like, but here mentioned you can see that it is a system boundary somewhere outside this. So inside system boundary there are a lot of main components, so just for a moment we can ignore them. Overall, if you just look at this boundary, from this boundary at position 1 some fluid is getting in, and that fluid is water, which is in the form of reservoir. I mean there will be any tank, and from that tank water is flowing into this system from system boundary. So what is happening here, some material is flowing inside the system from the surrounding. And when you just read to the second point at the end of the diagram, you can see that this water which get in inside the system, it is converted into something else like steam, and that then gets out of the system, gets out of the system in the form of vapor. It flows out. So overall here is like material getting in and out of the system. This is something related to the open system. As well you have here like mean there is heat and work also mean getting exchanged. So if you look at this, that some electric work is taking place and pump is pumping this water. So that is one of the work being done here. As well you can see that some work out of this system is taking place in the form of turbine. So no need to go in its detail, but just you can note down here that some work is getting into the system and some work is being done by the system on the surrounding. Due to this it is negative, and at the same time some energy is being transferred in and out of the system. I mean when it is getting in it is positive, and when it is leaving out it is like negative with negative value. You already know that energy into the system is positive and out of the system is considered as a negative. So before this, when you guys discuss closed system, there was nothing which is at point 1 and 2. I mean nothing was getting in, nothing was getting out, just energy was exchanged in the form of work as well as heat. But here when you are getting in some material, you can see that when it has a flow rate of, for example, m1, so it will carry some kinetic potential and internal energy. So now whenever we will be considering here an equation for heat into, amount of energy into the system, then we have to also consider these three. As well, when energy is getting out of the system, along with work and heat, you have to consider kinetic potential and internal energy, because some material stream is leaving from the system. Okay, so overall here like you see that some liquid is getting into the system. So in order to push this liquid into the system, we have to do some work. Always you will be doing some work on the fluid. Mean whenever you want to push some liquid from one place to other, what you do, you install some pump, and pump do work on this system, which is our like here water. So maybe overall you can say that work is done on a system to push mass in. This is mass of water. In order to push it into the system, we have to do some work on this. So we are doing work with the help of pump. Pump actually mean when any liquid come in contact with the pump, pump is like that is usually connected with the electric motor. Electric motor just move the rotor of the pump, or we call them impeller. those rotor or impeller is a device in which when water comes, then it is pushed because it is moving with the help of electric energy. So at the same time, sometimes work is done on the surrounding by the mass that emerge or by the mass which is just leaving out of the system. So here now this overall system is pushing this liquid or gas out of the system. In this case, when it is pushing something out of the system, it's mean it is pushing that it is working on the surrounding. So I mean these work which is done here actually in open systems. In the closed system there was only the work term, but in these open system we have to consider here some work which is there are actually two types of work which we have to consider for applying balance on these open systems. So let's look at them. What are those two type of work? Overall, there are two type of work. They are divided into flow work and shaft work in these system. So what does that mean, flow work and shaft work, and how we have to calculate? So before this, you already remember something, general definition of work, that it was type of flow of energy when your driving force is something other than temperature difference, for example force, torque or voltage. And at that time I think I told you that you can have electric work, you can have work with the help of pump or something else. So overall here you can say that work is some of these like shaft work and flow work for these open systems. Why this? Because whenever you have some material, so in order to push that material you have to work on that, and that work involve or that is divided into two parts, shaft work and flow work. So for example here, shaft work, what does that mean? Shaft work are rate of work which is done on process fluid by moving part. As I told you that guys, look, do you have you seen some pumps, water pumps in your homes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
think
sir.
most of you know, or at least if you didn't see, just visit somewhere where these pumps are installed. So what does they do? They are connecting, actually this is this assembly which we call like motor or pump inside the house, that consists of two parts. One part is electric motor. Do you know? There
Yes,
is
sir.
most of the time electric motor, and that electric motor,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
there is some shaft that just comes out of this electric motor part, and that is connected to some other part which we are calling it like a rotor or like impeller of this pump. And that is actually the element which move or push the water. This motor, this only provide this electric energy, or this electric energy, that motor only convert that electric energy into the mechanical energy, because with the help of this electric energy, when we apply electric energy, that motor moves and that shaft start moving, and that shaft is connected with the rotor or impeller, and then that rotor or impeller just push the water. So this work we call it shaft work, the work done being the shaft on the process fluid. Why it is on the process fluid? Because our system here is that fluid which is being moved with the help of this motor or rotor. Okay, so this is one type of work which we will consider here in the system. I will show you one example, I think in next slide, to make it more clear. And the other work which we call it the flow work. Flow work that is being performed on the system or by the system with the help of fluid. For example, guys, if some gases are available at high temperature and pressure inside the system, and when they are pushed outside the system, so what is here happening? This is the like something flow work which is being done by this system on the surrounding, because those gases which were available at high temperature and pressure, they are being pushed out of the system. So that is one other type which is called flow work. So other you can define it, flow work or rate of work done on the fluid at the system inlet minus the rate of work done. Overall, if you want to see, you guys know that net work or overall amount of work performed, that is the difference between two, being done on the system or being done by the system. So I will come back to this. Just look at this graph now. Actually, I think I have shown you this before discussing that. So just look. This is the assembly of that pump, and from this in midpoint it is connected with the electric motor. So I didn't show that electric motor part, I have just shown you that part which is pushing the water. So here in this example he has considered that this mean rotor part or impeller part of the pump is your system. So when any liquid come in contact with this, for example this liquid is coming from the top, and then when this rotor is moving with the help of electric energy which was converted into the mechanical energy, it will push the water at high pressure. Have you seen such phenomena in your surrounding? What motor does?
Yes,
Water
sir.
come in contact and it is pushed at high pressure. Yes, good. So in this case what is happening, this system is doing work on the surrounding. What was your surrounding? Surrounding was here your fluid which was coming in contact with this rotor. So this work which is done with the help of shaft, because that shaft is connected with the electric motor, so that work is called shaft work out of this. The other type of work, sometimes you don't need this stuff. For example, look here. In this case there are two equipments, one is called heat exchanger and other is called furnace. So heat exchanger is simple equipment in which heat exchange takes place between two streams, and when heat exchange or heat transfer will take place when there is some temperature difference between two streams. I think we discussed this last week when we discussed heat. You remember that when heat transfer takes place,
Yes, sir.
When there is temperature difference between
when
the
there is
system and the
temperature
surrounding.
difference, yes, so good. So when there is temperature difference, so let me tell you here, आप देख सकते हैं, can you see here, there is something temperature mentioned 800 Kelvin and 100 kilopascal for this gas which is getting into the system, and other it is leaving out at 390 Kelvin. So what happened to this gas here? Its temperature has got down. Why? Because there was some fresh air which was available at room temperature. When it came in contact with this, mean inside there, this is complex equipment. Yes, you guys can see that there are two pipes moving in and out, but this is not like that. Inside this, what phenomena is happening, no need to worry about that at the moment. What you can do, you can just get the idea that something which is at high temperature, when it comes in contact with the fresh air which is at low temperature, and some heat exchange takes place. Okay, this next there is then I will come back where work is positive negative, what he is talking about. Before I let me tell you this system. So next equipment here is a furnace. In the furnace, what happens when this air comes in contact with the fuel, we burn it. Furnace, it is also named as sometime heater. So in this you burn the fuel. So when we burn the fuel, what happens? Combustion gases are produced and temperature is raised due to combustion of this fuel. So overall here something leaves at high temperature, then it comes in contact with the fresh air which is at low temperature, and it moves out of the system. So guys, now look here. When you want to perform such activity or you want to burn the fuel, always you have to push the fuel as well as you have to push the air inside the system. And when we are pushing this gas into the system at high temperature and pressure, what we are doing, we are working on the system, because here our system is this assembly which is heat exchanger and furnace. So work is being done here by pushing these gases into the system, and they are usually at pressure, some they have at high pressure as well, they contain some volume. So I think in next slide we will look at the formula that how we can calculate this flow work, but here they contain some like pressure and volume, and they get into the system as well. Fuel is getting into the system, it is being pushed into the system from the surrounding. So this is the positive one. But if you look at the other case, like when these flow gases are moving out of this, so they are, why they are moving out of the system, why work is being done on this surrounding, because they are at high temperature and pressure. When they are leaving, they can push anything, and most of the time these gases are used to rotate some equipment, some part which is not part of this, that is just available after this equipment. So that's we call, due to this, that work is negative, because this is being done by this system which was the heat exchanger and furnace, and this work is being done by this system on the surrounding, and that is named as a flow work. So overall in this assembly here we didn't see any moving part, we didn't see anything which is like pump or compressor, anything. So all the work being done is due to the fluid high pressure. So that's called flow work. So due to this, here he said that most of the time when you will be talking about the work that involve flow work and shaft work, maybe you guys will be thinking, overall in this case there is only shaft work, and then in this case I talked about only flow work. But out of these, the work which is being done by these flue gases, that is negative, is flow work, but initial two which are positive here. For example, guys, can you tell me if you want to push water into any system, so how you will do? Water which is available at normal pressure, will it get into any system which is at high pressure?
No,
So
sir.
motor
No,
से
sir. No, sir.
Its example is like that. For example, there is a water tank in your house, and for example, the water is available in some pond at the at ground somewhere. So can water easily jump to the main top or into that tank without pushing
No.
it? No.
No,
So
sir.
how
No,
you
sir.
push it there? How
Pressure
you
apply
push it?
होगा.
Yes, you
so
apply the
motor
pressure,
लगा
and that
के
pressure is
ही.
applied with the help of motor, with the help of pump. So that's actually here shaft work which you guys do. And then later on, what happens when this energy is stored inside that water, and then water just, for example, if we want to move that water and we want to push some turbine or something like this, which is at place there, when this water which has high energy that can push anything, that can move, or you guys see that when it is available now at height, it can easily move into the house to any location. So that's something work done by the system. So overall here, now you can go back, and that your work which is mostly done into the system, that will most of the time consist of both parts, shaft work and flow work. And shaft work, usually it is given like we have this information that there is a motor and it is working this much amount of work. But flow work, most of the time we have to calculate, we have to do some calculations. So how we have to calculate, let's consider one stream, like for example, to calculate this, there is a one process and in which one stream is getting in, and that has some pressure and volumetric flow rate. At the same time, that's one single stream is leaving out of this process unit. Process unit means anything like your reactor, your distillation unit, pump, anything you can consider. So when it is leaving out, it is at pressure and its volumetric flow rate is given. So can you calculate here the work being done on the system or being done by the system? Do you know any equation? Or guys, how you calculate the work, by the way? Any equation which you remember?
Force times displacement.
Work is simple, which you know. Do you know
Pressure
here
into
some
volume.
force and displacement? Pressure into volume. Where did you read this?
Sir, वो first year chemistry.
Oh, okay, good. Already you guys know, but is that equation, this W is equal to PV, related to this F into S, main force multiplied by displacement? Is there any link between these two equations? Are they same thing or different?
Sir, both represent energy.
Yes, both represent energy and in the form of work, but I'm asking you that this is F, by the way, guys, multiplied by S this time. So if we have this equation, can we convert it into the pressure into volume equation? Yes, we can. How,
Yes, sir.
how you will do?
Yes, sir.
Basis. Basis on
How?
second level.
Sorry, guys. Look at this equation. Guys, look at this equation. Okay, listen to me, please. Here, work is equal to force multiplied by displacement. Do you know this equation? I think everyone knows this equation, at least. If you don't remember or know above equation, you know this equation very well. So force, if I just divide this equation by the area and multiply this equation by the area, is there any change in the main consistency of equation? Is it dimensionally
No, sir.
consistent? Is there any change? No change. So look, Now this force divided by area, what does this mean? What is this force per unit
Power.
area?
Pressure.
Force per unit
Not
area.
power,
Pressure.
Pressure.
Sorry. Pressure.
It is pressure. Force per unit area is pressure. And what
Pressure.
about this one dimension, which is like displacement or any dimension multiplied by area? So these are three dimensions actually. So when you multiply area into one length, distance is some length, so area into length, that give you volume.
Volume.
Yeah, so
Volume.
from here, simple equation which is work is equal to force multiplied by displacement or any length. Displacement means guys any length. So here that can be converted to pressure into volume equation. So in this case, because most of the things which you will be discussing, there will be flow rates. Those stream will be available at any volumetric flow rate. They will have some pressure. So we can't mostly calculate work by using this simplest formula, which was F is F into S. So instead of this, that can be modified to get pressure into the volume. So overall here I can calculate the work with the help of this equation, which is PV. So this either PV or F into S, these are the same thing. They are used for calculation of work. So overall here, work done on the system by the fluid, for example, from the outlet work, when we are doing work here, can you tell me how much work will be done? I mean, what will be the equation at the inlet of this process
PV.
unit? Because PV simply and P in V in, so overall I can write here that work is equal to PV. What does this dot mean now? He has put dot everywhere.
Volumetric flow rate.
Yes, so it's mean when you take instead of volume as again, I will come back to that point. In open system, fluid keeps on flowing with respect to time. It is not that like 1 liter was entered and we stop it. No, it is like 1 liter per minute, 1 liter per hour, or so on. Like you can take any example. So overall, when it is volumetric flow rate, it's mean pressure into instead of volume, you will have volumetric flow rate. So it will be like work done per unit time. So that will be represented by, due to this he is telling you here in the form of flow rate. Work will be in the form of like per unit time. So similarly, when some stream is leaving or going out of this process unit, so that's mean work is being done on the surrounding by this system, which is process unit. Mean in that case, can you calculate the work? So that will be simple. Again, work out will be equal to P out multiplied by V out. And here, by the way, he has mentioned the units in SI system for this. Right. So if we want to calculate net work done, and this work is called flow work because that is due to the flow of any fluid into the system or out of the system, and that is calculated with the help of this PV. Remember this please. So net work done. If I want to calculate net work, can you find that? That will be work done on the system, that is with positive value, minus work done by the system. Net work mean overall you want to look at the effect of work. So flow work here, overall flow work is just the difference of between these two. So flow work, if only work is done on the system, so then the second term will be omitted. If work is only done by the system, then first term will be omitted. If both are involved, because in this specific example which we are discussing, work is being done as well as on the system as well as done by the system. So due to this reason I have mentioned both of these here. Clear?
Yes sir.
Any question regarding this? So
सर इसमें से
guys,
फ्लो वर्क कौन सा होगा?
yeah, this is simply flow work. I didn't talk about this is all flow work. This is flow work in, out, and if I want to look at the net effect of flow work, then I will write like difference between in and out. So due to this I was just telling you, if only flow work is getting in, so then out term will be ignored and this flow work will be equal to the first term. और अगर आप कहते हो कि सिर्फ आउट हो रहा है तो फिर तो इनमें से हर एक टर्म फ्लो वर्क को ही शो कर रही है. एंड नेट फ्लो वर्क इज रिप्रेजेंटेड हेयर in the form of both, because the example which we started with, that one stream is getting in as well as out, तो इस वजह से हम इसको दोनों को लिख रहे हैं. तो ये सारी फ्लो वर्क की ही एग्जांपल है, आउट इन या ये भी. या कोई कंफ्यूजन है स्टिल आपको?
No, sir.
I think it's clear. Okay, thank you. So in this is this equation we have written only for one stream. I think you can easily observe that only one stream is getting in. But guys, you have solved a lot of problems related to material balance, so you know that in most of the systems we have more than one stream. So then how to calculate flow work if there are more than one stream? Suppose two streams are getting in and only one stream is getting out, then what will be your equation?
Input
Sigma
2
P
फिर
output
output
एक
होगा.
Yeah, simple. You have to do, you have to add all those getting in. So for example, then I will name it as a P1 V1, mean first stream 1, its pressure and volume, plus P2 V2 because 1 and then second is getting in, minus if it is only one which is going out, that will be subtracted. If more than one are leaving, then those will be subtracted. So it's simple one, no need to worry. If there are more than one stream, if they are getting in, because in is taken as a positive work, so that will be needed as that will be added inside this, and all those leaving out will be subtracted. So that's it. So this is about work and overall work. As from the start I said here that overall work consists of two terminologies: work, flow work, plus shaft work. So when you write the work in this open system, later we will go back to that step. So you will see that overall work is written as flow work plus shaft work. Shaft work is named as or written with the symbol WS, and WFL, that is for flow work. So another terminology which you will come across here, that is related to actually specific internal energy. So before that, I think you already remember what is specific property. Any property which is divided by its mass or
mass.
amount or flow rate, that we call it specific property. So I mean that is represented mostly divided by mass. For example, specific kinetic energy or potential, specific potential energy or specific volume. This already we've discussed a lot. I mean, you know, I think this. So if I want to write specific internal energy, so what does that mean? Specific internal energy. Can anyone tell me just equation for this?
Internal energy divided by mass.
Simply internal energy divided by mass, or maybe sometimes you are also reported or you are given in terms of moles. So as I said, divided by amount. So amount, you know that amount is represented either in the form of mass as well as we can represent it in the form of moles, because you know that when there is a gaseous system we usually talk about the moles. So that's also like specific energy. So here if we are talking about the mass, so like this cap, why when this symbol is used, when you
Per
represent
unit mass.
something specific property, yes, per unit mass. So it's mean this is specific, as you guys said, the specific internal energy will be equal to internal energy divided by mass. So he has just rearranged this equation, that if you are looking for simple internal energy, you can just find it by multiplying specific energy with its mass. So what will happen, this kg will cancel with the kg and you will get at the end of the answer in the form of joule. So why we are just concerned about this specific internal energy? The reason is, guys, when you will consult the literature, you are most of the time given these in the literature, means specific internal energies for various fluid, for various chemical. These values are available in literature and they are in the form of specific internal energy, not internal energy. They are available in the form of specific internal energy. So you can look for that, just multiply it with the amount of that material and you will get internal energy to use in your energy balance equation. So if there is some continuous stream, this is for continuous stream, some fluid is flowing with respect to the time. So in that case, when this mass will be converted to the mass flow rate, so your internal energy will be converted to the internal energy per unit time. So overall just equation will be presented as internal energy per unit time, like here it will be now joule per second, that is equal to mass flow rate multiplied by specific internal energy. this is kind of thing you already know, that like we can easily report anything in the flow rates, because most of the time open system involve flow rates. So this is another terminology which we have to accommodate here while we will be writing main equation for open systems. The next thing which is new here for you, that's called specific enthalpy. Something when we call it specific, that means it is per unit mass. So if I simple say enthalpy, so its equation is enthalpy is actually summation of internal energy and PV. What is this PV? You just studied.
Work.
Yes, flow work, guys, flow work. Remember, please, this is
Flow work, sir.
So if we just add flow work with the internal energy, so this can be commonly named as enthalpy. So here he said specific enthalpy. Due to this, he has just mentioned cap on all of these. Specific enthalpy is enthalpy per unit mass, this internal energy per unit mass, and this will be P into V per unit mass volumetric, like specific volume. So this mean we will use here somewhere mean to simplify our equation. But the other reason is, as I told you, that sometimes you are given the data in literature in the form of internal energy, but a lot of data for various chemicals is available in the literature at any given temperature and pressure conditions in the form of specific enthalpy. So due to this reason, this is one of the equation you will be using, or H you will be using a lot inside chemical engineering. In a lot of calculation we use this enthalpy term, because in order to do some calculation we need some information, and that is available in the literature easily, so you can use this term. So in the equation which we are gonna write today for this open system energy balance, we will also use this enthalpy term to simplify our equation. Okay. So here in this equation, P is the pressure, and this specific internal energy and specific volume are U and mean you know this. So let's quickly use this equation before we jump to next stage. So specific internal energy of helium at 300 Kelvin and 1 atm is what is given here. Specific internal energy of helium at some temperature and pressure, and that is simply 3800 joule per mole. And specific molar volume, guys, you were just looking at this, that this internal energy is joule per unit quantity. And why he mentioned here mole? Because it is gas, so most of the time this will be reported in the form of mole. So due to this reason here, this is also available in the form of joule per unit mole. Helium is a gas. So, and the specific molar volume, this we cap at the same temperature and pressure, mean this 300 Kelvin and 1 atm is also given to you, that is 24.63 liter per mole. Calculate the specific enthalpy of helium at this temperature and pressure. Calculate the specific enthalpy of helium at this temperature and pressure. So mean you have to find this H, and the rate at which enthalpy is transported by a stream of helium at 300 Kelvin and 1 atm with a molar flow rate of 250 kilomole per hour. And we have to find the enthalpy rate. Mean overall you have to calculate two things, specific enthalpy as well as enthalpy rate. So can you do this calculation? How you are gonna solve it? First of all, to solve first part, what is your equation? Hey guys,
स्पेसिफिक के लिए तो ऊपर वाली लगेगी ना सर इक्वेशन.
yes,
सर स्पेसिफिक वाला तो हो जाएगा, दूसरे वाला सोच के करना पड़ेगा बस.
Okay, look, for first part even there is some issue, because just look at the equation. Yes, you guys are right, this is your equation. Specific enthalpy is equal to specific internal energy plus pressure multiplied by specific volume. So what is given your question here? Specific internal energy is given, so you can use this directly. This value, it is joule per mole. What about next, pressure? Do you have pressure of this system?
1 atm.
1 atm, he said total pressure is 1 atm. So here you can use 1 atm multiplied by specific volume. It's given.
Yes sir, 24.63.
Liter per unit mole, liter per mole. So it is ATM liter per mole, and other value which is being added to this is joule per mole. So here you will need some conversion simple, because in order to solve it completely you have to have one answer. So it means you have to do some conversion, because when it is P is in ATM and volume, it is this specific volume is in liter per unit mole, and other terminology internal energy is in joule per mole. So look here, overall you can write it like this: 300 joule per mole plus 1 ATM into this. So now in order to solve this, due to this reason I have provided here the conversion factor 101.3 joule per liter into ATM. And from where it comes, actually it comes from the two different values of R. So if you just divide two different values of R, in one of those if there is a joule, and in other it is liter into ATM, and other two terms were like mole per mole into Kelvin, mole into Kelvin, they just get cancelled and you can get this conversion factor. So when overall, just quickly let me go through this. So this is joule per mole. I will keep it as such. In order to bring joule per mole on the other side, I have used this conversion. Joule is equal to versus liter into ATM. And guys, this is the same unit of energy, and like something which is liter is per volume and it is per pressure. So that's dimensionally consistent stuff. You can just verify it later. So just use this. Later into ATM will cancel with this, and your answer is in the form of joule per mole. So this is the specific enthalpy which you are doing. Next part.
सर ये दोबारा
Okay.
एक दफा बता दीजिएगा जरा।
बच्चे इसमें ना कुछ नहीं है, जस्ट मैंने आपको कहा ये ऊपर वाले समझ आ गया जो लिखा हुआ है। आगे आपको क्या करना है, इन दोनों को जब ऐड करना है तो यूनिट सेम होने चाहिए. सो इन ऑर्डर टू मेक द यूनिट कंसिस्टेंट, दैट इज जूल पर मोल. सो हाउ व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, just you need to convert. Yes, exactly, you have to actually convert this ATM into liter. This should be converted to the joule. So I have provided here actually, yes, that liter into ATM, and that's converted to joule, and this is conversion factor. So that 101.3, suppose maybe definitely most of you will be thinking from where did it appear. So if there will be such difficult conversion factor which will be provided to you. So, and I told you that this is from where it comes. Actually you can get this by dividing two different values of R. And what was R? R was gas constant. That is actually in different units. So if you just divide those two values which involve these units, so you will get this factor from where it comes. Okay, the next part, which is enthalpy per unit time or enthalpy rate. So how to find that? First of all, look, if I want to find, I have here specific enthalpy. Guys, you know that enthalpy is equal to mass into specific enthalpy. Is this equation valid? You just studied internal energy in the last slide. You have seen this, that in internal energy is equal to mass multiplied by specific internal energy, or this specific is actually M was divided here. I have just taken it to the other side. So that's it. But now here the things are reported in the form of mole. So instead of mass, this is mole, and overall it is molar flow rate. So I will write it as a N dot. So please just correct it, like, because here it is in kilomole per hour. So it is N dot, molar flow rate. So it will be like this, H dot. Do you agree with this modification of equation?
Yes, sir.
Mean just you have to write it in the form of flow rate. So it was simple. When I divide this side by the time, other side will be definitely divided by the time, and that is written as like mentioned in the form of flow rate. So this is just so simple, your equation. Now do you have these values? Molar flow rate is in the question.
Yes, sir. 250.
What about this specific? Just you have calculated this.
3800.
So just go ahead with this. Here I have mentioned this, like molar flow rate is 250 kilomole per hour, and this just mole, kilomole was converted to mole because your specific enthalpy is in the form of per unit mole. So multiply it with that joule per unit mole, and you will get the answer, that is enthalpy rate or enthalpy per unit time. I think done. Any question?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah, it's straightforward, but this okay, good. Just one conversion factor was important here, other is just straightforward question. So for these, now up to here we have discussed three terminologies. If I just summarize it, initially we started what are open system, why apply balance on the open system. So I said when we apply a balance on the open system, there will be work involved, and work is of two types, shaft work and flow work. And then we discussed how to calculate flow work, and after that I told you what is specific internal energy, why we will need it, because most of the time data is in this form, and in order to find internal energy you need to convert that specific to the simple internal energy. And then this was specific enthalpy. So initially I told you enthalpy H is equal to U plus PV, and you can just modify it by dividing by per unit amount, that is either mole or mass, and you can calculate specific enthalpy is equal to specific internal energy plus PV cap. So after this, now I think we have discussed all the terminologies which will be used in this energy balance equation. So let's look at that quickly. So what is equation for open system? And I'm gonna start with steady state here. What is this steady state?
Accumulation 0.
Okay, guys, if you recall the equation of energy balance in the second last lecture, that was accumulation is equal to energy in minus energy out plus generation minus consumption. And at that time I told you, because we are not talking about reacting system here, so generation and consumption are zero. So your equation was simply accumulation is equal to input minus output at that time. And now when we are saying steady state, so in that case simple input energy is equal to output energy will be your equation. Okay, so in this case, because you are gonna talk about the steady state, that's the simplest system here, so input will be equal to output. So how energy can get into the open system now in the form of what variables are, which parameters energy can get into the open system. If you compare it with the closed system, energy can enter into the system into two forms. What were those two forms?
Heat and work.
Heat and work. So now when you are talking about the material coming into this system, so along with heat and work, can energy enter in any other form?
Yes, sir. Kinetic energy,
Yes,
potential
sir.
energy.
Kinetic is a potential.
They are mentioned here that energy can get in the form of kinetic, potential and internal energy of in the form of all process streams which are getting in, plus the rate at which energy is transferred in a heat and work. Heat and work, already you are well aware that either it is closed or open system, always energy can transfer in these two forms, but in open system these other three terminologies will also be included. Similarly, in this system, when any stream can flow out of the system, so out of the system energy can also move out of the system in the form of heat, work and these three forms of energies. So overall I can write it in the form of one equation. But before that, guys, look, I told you in this somewhere in the earlier lecture that for Q and W they are path variables, and we don't write them in the form of delta. We just call them as a net energy in or out. And I told you that that term, either that is Q or W, that will be like considered either something is getting in, out. Both you can consider in that Q, as well for W you can consider both. So here I have written the equation based on this. Input is equal to output. So is this equation correct based on the discussion, the things which I have just explained? Is this equation correct, or there is some problem with the equation?
सर आफ्टर में भी क्यू और डब्ल्यू आएंगे या नहीं?
आप सो रहे हो? कौन बोल रहा है? जरा ऊंचा बोलो. Excuse me, hello, you all are sleeping?
No,
I'm
sir.
asking about this equation, so either
Yes,
it is
sir.
correct or not, just
We are
tell me
here.
quickly. If you are not telling me, that let me tell you this is correct. So now if you have any concern If you have any question in the mind, tell me. Otherwise, this is simplest, that energy in the all three forms is equal to energy out. And why I didn't mention Q plus W on the other side? I was just telling you that before this even you consider that this Q will be accommodating both terms, getting in plus out, and work also accommodate both term, work in plus out. So this is actually net work and net energy. If it will be in, it will be positive, and at the same time if there is negative, that is also subtracted here, and you just calculate final Q. Similarly for the work you do same. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Sir.
That's pretty straightforward. So this equation can be rearranged in the form of, I can write it as a Q plus W is equal to, I can take this input energy to the other side of the equation. It will be output minus input.
करें मिशन है टाइम खत्म होने वाला
Excuse me, mute your mic, Ali. So output streams mean getting in their summation of all those energies minus summation of all the energies which are getting into the system will be equal to Q plus W. And let me tell you again, when you will be solving the problem, this Q, please, it is not only input, this Q accommodates both in and out. In is positive, minus out is like that negative. That value will be already accommodated. We are not writing it two times, but this Q consists of both. Understand as well one. So this is just your general equation. So now we have to write this, which when we write sum of all input streams energy. So that energy is in the form of three forms. Can you tell me what are those three forms of energy here in this E? I think this
Internal
was
energy, potential energy, kinetic energy.
yes, good. In the closed
Sir,
system.
kinetic, potential, or internal energy.
Yes, good. So here I have written it J. J is for any stream. You can consider 1, 2, 3 any stream, J stream. So for any stream, this energy or term E, this also we discussed in the closed system, that is equal to U plus kinetic energy plus potential energy. And if you want to write it in the form of rate, because this is again and again I'm repeating because some of you are many times confused on very small points. So due to this, here it is written dot because it is dealing with the flow rates when there will be flow rate of mass. So this will be kinetic energy per unit time, potential energy per unit time, and internal energy per unit time. So due to this reason, overall it is per unit time. So how can you write this equation U plus E plus by opening it in the form of mass? Can you tell me the equation for this? Can I write it this kinetic energy as something 1 over 2 mv square?
Yes, sir.
Potential energy as mgh?
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
what about this? Can I write it in the form of something m multiplied by specific internal energy? You just studied. I think we can write it by opening it in this form, and out of all those I can take m mass flow rate as a common outside. So my equation will be just written as specific internal energy plus u square, u mean v square over 2 plus g h, which you call h here, he has mentioned in the form of z, mean height for potential energy. Agree? Any question here?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So this we can write either for in energy or out energy, and we can replace that E which was here in the equation with this equation which is in the form of mass as well as others. Other here there was Q. Q is always only Q, that you usually have that this much energy get into the system or leave out of the system. That Q didn't involve any calculation here, at least up to your stage. Later on in higher classes you will see how we can find Q. Okay, the other thing here is the work. And work, as I told you, that work will consist of two parts. One is shaft work and other is flow work. So flow work, can we calculate that? You just discussed that flow work can be calculated as PV in minus PV out. You just discussed in last slide. But here, if there are more than one stream, then we will put like sum of input stream, all work getting in due to the flow minus out. At this stage, any question? There is nothing, guys. It is like which you just wrote. P in, V in minus P out, V out. So if there are more than one stream, we will just add them. Due to this, he has mentioned here the summation. So, but as I said that overall your work consists of like shaft work. So this is directly mentioned here. Total work per unit time is equal to shaft work per unit time plus this main work done due to
Flow
the
work.
flow work. And from where this, by the way, M came here. If you look at the initial equation, P V dot, and V dot can be written as M multiplied by specific volume. Can we write it like this? You
Yes,
know,
sir.
V over M is equal to V cap. So if you want to replace this V, you can replace it with V multiplied by M. And instead of M, we write it like a flow rate M dot. Okay. So here, this is
सॉरी
the
फिर समझा सकते
हसीब एंड पे पूछना जो आप क्वेश्चन हो आपका. Well, let me finish it because I will explain to you. This is very simple stuff. Don't worry. So, guys, look, this was our general equation from the start here in this, and after this we said that let's look at the inside the terminologies. What will be E? What will be W? So I can just put all those values which I have just explained to you. I will put those in this equation, and what I will get here is this. This is all the energies leaving out in the form of output streams, and that was actually simply M multiplied by, just ignore this PV, it is U plus V square plus VZ, this one at the top here, and other minus this output stream, which is input stream mass multiplied by internal energy plus this kinetic energy plus potential energy is equal to, on the other side of the equation it was Q dot, that is the heat, plus shaft work plus all this term of flow work. So what he did here, he just rearranged the equation in such a way, like he just took these terms of which involve like mass, because he wanna separate those terms which contain mass. So just those are separated. He has taken to the other side of the equation, and then he took mass common out of all those, and this PV was included to the other side of the equation. If you are confused about this, I will ask you just to write this equation in your notebook and try to rearrange the equation, and you will read to this stage. Why he did this? Actually, I told you few minutes back that there is something called specific enthalpy, and that is the sum of internal energy plus PV. So he gonna just replace these two. Due to this, he took this work which was in the form of flow work, took to the other side of the equation, and just add to that. So U plus PV, that can be replaced with H. So we can replace both here, like U plus PV is H plus this V square over 2 plus GZ multiplied by M. Simply the other side, similarly here U plus PV is replaced with H, and that is equal to Q plus WS. So now look, if I just open this equation overall, if I just open this bracket, so what will be this summation of M multiplied by H plus summation of M multiplied by U square over 2 plus summation of M into JZ minus similarly all these three terms. Can I write it like this? I just open the bracket
Yes,
and
sir.
write them as a separate. So now what I want to do, I want to combine the same terminologies. For example, here MJ out minus MJ in. Can I do this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So when you want to combine these, they will give you actually something MJ out minus MJ in, that will be giving you delta H, means something out minus in. इसी तरह similarly, like for internal energy, this M V square over 2 out minus M V square over 2 in. So this out minus in, and similarly for potential energy. So they can be replaced like this with the delta H, delta K, and delta E potential. How? As I said, this something MH, this is from output stream minus M in M multiplied by H input stream. Similarly for the internal kinetic energy, and similarly for equation for potential energy. So you can replace this and simplify it to get this delta H minus delta K, delta EK or KE minus delta PE is equal to Q plus WS. So this is your simplified general equation for open system steady state energy balance. So this equation you will start when you will be solving the problem related to open system energy balance steady state system. So just that's the simplified equation that contains 5 terminologies. One, change in enthalpy, change in kinetic energy, change in potential energy, heat added or leaving to the system like net heat plus net shaft work. That's it. Up to here we are done. Now the next stage is to solve its problem that we will do tomorrow inshallah. So here I'm stopping the lecture. Now all those who have questions